All right, welcome to the third review of the evening. Up this time is, depending on where you look, either 30 minutes to extinction or Rise 30 minutes to extinction. I don't know why they added the Rise. Anyway, 30 Minutes to Extinction is a fun and fast paced race against the clock shooter. Aliens have invaded with one purpose: wipe out humanity. Alone or with friends, play across multiple maps and modes to defeat the alien horde and save the planet. Once this is done, survive as long as you can. Uh, so, a fairly simple premise to a fairly simple shooter, I guess. Over to the Galax for the details.
So yeah, I get the idea they're going for here. You are dropped on a map in a somewhat random location. In the area on the map, there's a big, gigantic, glowing bomb thing that has 3 locks that you need to get the keys to use to shut it off. The keys are in the hands of 3 alien robot generals that are located at bases in 3 other places on the map. And throughout there are various things that spawn enemies. There are very rarely item boxes. There are teleporters that you, I think, have to get a key card to make work. I never managed to do that because I only ever got 1 key card. So yeah, overall I get the idea. Unfortunately, the execution has a lot of issues, starting with the walking speed, which is just unforgivably slow. The sprint works. The sprinting speed should be like the default walking speed. Especially considering the size of the maps and the fact that they are fairly natural terrain, so you have to deal with stuff like going up hills. The jump is also pretty terrible. When you kill enemies in the maps, Petty, go into an actual map. The training thing is completely fucking useless.
Good to know.
There are the controls for the controller and mouse and keyboard work about equally well, to which is neither of them is perfect. The controller, it's really awkward to bring up the map, although the map itself is always awkward because there's no mini map, and you have to just go to start game unless you really have a gun you think will help. I guess armor to lessen bullet damage wouldn't suck, but the stabby guys are the ones you need to worry about anyway.
Oh my! What the fuck is this?
The biggest issue with the controller controls is that you have to click in the mouse stick, the left stick, and hold it in order to sprint. And as previously discussed, sprint is the only tolerable movement speed.
Those animations.
Yeah, the animations, a lot of the assets in this game, frankly, look like they were just acquired. Like, I'm not calling this an asset flip, but I am calling it a not put much effort into its assets at all.
Oh my
also, you're going to want to switch to your rifle because the pistol's fucking useless. The controls are pretty much FPS standard, though this is a third-person shooter, so it's not quite that. And all you can really see on the map is you could see at the start when we got here the giant glowing bomb, and the skulls mark where the generals are.
You're fucking kidding me.
Hey, lasted longer than I did my first time, although you also attracted less dudes. You need to pick up the cubes that dudes drop to refill your ammunition and life, unless you get really lucky and find a box. And then when you die, which will happen, you have to click or press a button to respawn, and you respawn again in a random location. At one point, I got the same location like 5 times in a row, and I thought it was set, but no, it just rolled back. It just rolled the same thing 5 times in a row. You pretty much, because of the scale of the map, have to use the map to locate where the things you're trying to go at are. But the map, when you bring it up, takes up the whole screen. And while you can't move while it's up, the enemies can. And the one time I actually got to a... this has a lot of the problem I have in FPSs with enemies just kind of appearing from behind you and you don't know where they're coming from. I don't know why. Like, it feels like it would be better if there was like some sort of actual set pieces. Like, mentally, this made me think of the freaking Eventide Island quest in Breath of the Wild, even though it's quite different. But that's like a million times better and has actual set pieces, even though it's a much more contained area. Instead of just being, it's kind of like literally, you can't even tell what side of the island you're on unless you're on a beach. The only real things are well, on this map, there are like 4 maps, I think. And there is also an alternate play mode, which is setting charges instead of disarming the big bomb, I think. But I believe it is functionally identical. You just have to set charges on the location. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. You have literally half an hour of gameplay to get to kill all 3 generals, which there are a lot of spawners around the bases, but the one time I actually got to them, the actual general was a joke. Like, he has a lot of hit points, but you can just walk back, like, move quickly backwards away from him while shooting at him, and he has kind of a whoosh, run up to you and delay and then swing, and he never actually hit me. And they give the generals names. I don't know if those are the same or different on different maps, because about half an hour of this game was more than enough. Those red things are allegedly where people spawn from, but I've only seen people actually spawn from there a couple times. More often, they just kind of sneak up on me. I don't know if there's anything you can do with it. I was going to try grenading one, but I ran out of grenades. Doesn't look like it did anything, so not surprising there. So yeah, that's literally all there is to it. It's you have to go kill the 3 dudes, and then bring their keys one at a time or all together, whatever, to the big bomb thing and shut that off. And I guess once you get a key, theoretically, you can use the teleporters. There is only manual reloading, which is kind of annoying when you're using a gun with a smaller clip than the rifle. There are allegedly other guns, but I didn't spend the in-game money on any of those because I didn't know what would be good, and I still don't. I think you might only be able to carry 1 alternate gun at a time. It seemed that way in the training thing, so I didn't want to get locked out of the rifle, which, again, seems to be the only thing that can take them out at a reasonable time. There's a sniper rifle. I wouldn't want to use it because the aim is not great.
Oh yeah, the aim on this is fucking terrible.
It's exactly center of screen. Or crosshairs. There were crosshairs when I was playing. I don't know where yours went. It's there.
I can see it. It just oof.
Yeah, there's no weak points on the enemies. Headshots don't do anything. So they took ultimately, and the music is just very action metal, I guess, action rock. I think there may be one track. It's pumping music. But yeah, so yeah, they took a fairly perhaps interesting idea with potential and slapped incredibly generic military shooter assets and kind of lazy sci-fi enemy design over it. There is no indication over what slopes you can or cannot go up.
My inner Skyrim player is currently screaming right now.
Uh-huh. So yeah, it's ultimately just extremely generic and kind of bad if you like glue down the dash button, and if you don't glue down the dash button, it's impossible. Which is why playing with a controller is impossible, because, as previously stated, it's very difficult to move and keep the stick clicked in. Especially while doing other stuff, which usually resets you to not dashing anyway.
Yeah. Oh my.
I was never able to find, like, there are some interesting bits of terrain. There are some wrecked buildings. The spawners themselves are actually kind of interesting, like, as like, things that you can fight around. But I was never able to successfully use one of them for, like, interesting interactions, because the enemies are stupid. They have one setting, which is run straight towards you and try to attack from whatever their optimal range is. I never got the melee attack to work, but it looks like it's working for Pettyfan a little bit, so...
You want to know how you get it to work? It has wind up to it.
That might have been it. I was trying to do that, and I was also kind of mashing people's faces. So yeah, ultimately, the fact that the graphics are ugly and that the controls are ass ruins the game, which would otherwise be mediocre. Maybe a little bit better than mediocre if you were actually playing on a team.
Oh, good lord.
And that's about all I got.
Okay. So in terms of pricings, it's $1.99.
Well, you won't be wasting too much money if you don't believe me then.
If you value your money, stay away. Stay the fuck away.
Like if you find $1 in the gutter, I guess you could spend it on this game, or you could like buy an Arizona iced tea and enjoy it for longer.
Go with the iced tea. Those are delicious. This is industrial sludge. All right. So I think we've said all we need to say on 30 Minutes to Extinction here. So yeah, be sure to tune in after the break, as we will be reviewing Refraction Beyond the Mirror.